The sound of the international break finishing. Hello, welcome back to my channel where today I will be doing my Premier League Matchweek 9 predictions of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. Now, let's have a quick look how I did last week. So, it was a mixed week, has to be said. Obviously, this was obviously 2 weeks ago. I went for a 2-1 win to Brighton, finished 3-0 to Brighton. I went for a 2-0 win to Burnley, was finished 1-0 to Burnley. I correctly predicted Liverpool to beat Leicester City 2-1. Norwich Aston Villa, I went for a 2-2 draw, finished 5-1 to Aston Villa. Watford against Sheffield United, I went for a 1-0 win to Sheffield United, finished 0-0. West Ham Crystal Palace, I went for a 3-2 win to West Ham, finished 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Arsenal Bournemouth, I went for a 3-1 win to Arsenal, finished 1-0. Man City Wolves, I went for a 3-0 win to Man City, finished 2-0 to Wolves. Southampton Chelsea, I went for a 2-0 win to Chelsea, finished 4-1. And I correctly predicted Newcastle United to beat Manchester United by 1-0. So you can kind of see that it was a mixed week. So you'd have to say that. So the games that we have coming up as follows. So we have Everton against West Ham. That is a 12:30 kickoff live on BT Sport. We've got Bournemouth against Norwich City. Then this is the 3 o'clock games, I should say. Bournemouth, Norwich City, Aston Villa against Brighton, Chelsea against Newcastle, Leicester City against Burnley, Tottenham against Watford, Wolves against Southampton, Crystal Palace against Manchester City, Man United against Liverpool. That is the Super Sunday, and obviously Crystal Palace Man City is the Saturday tea time game, and then we've got a Monday night game, which is Sheffield United against Arsenal. So some good games ahead. So the first game that we will preview is Everton against West Ham. Now, the last 5 between these two have resulted in 2 wins to Everton, a draw, and 2 wins to West Ham. And the last game between the sides at Goodison Park was a 3-1 win to West Ham. So they're pretty evenly matched, these two. Everton, though, 4 defeats in a row now. Now, they are in the relegation zone for the first time in a long time, so they'll definitely want to bounce back. But at this present moment in time, they'll obviously be without Seamus Coleman, who got sent off for everything against Burnley last time out, and you get a feeling with Everton now that where are the goals coming from? That's the main thing you can say from that one, is where are the goals coming from? I'm not sure. And I think that this is going to be another one of those games where, they can go away from the Burnley game and say that they probably deserve to get something out of that. But again, they were very disappointing. So I have to say that Everton are really struggling, and obviously 4 defeats in a row. I'm pretty surprised Marco Silva is still at Everton, to be honest. I didn't think he would be able to survive this international break, but he has. So, there we go. West Ham, obviously they're coming off the back of a 2-1 defeat to Crystal Palace. And, that's a bit of a setback for Manuel Pellegrini. But having said that, West Ham have been playing some very decent football, especially Sebastian Haller and Andriy Yarmolenko, who is playing very, very well as well. So, for me, I'm thinking that this is going to be a very close game. I do think both sides will score, but I just think that West Ham are on the better form than Everton at this present moment in time. I think West Ham will go to Goodison Park and pick up another victory. I'm going for a 2-1 win to the Hammers. So that will be an interesting game, definitely, for that one. Bournemouth against Norwich City. Now, they've only met 2 times, in fact, in the Premier League era, and there is a win apiece. But the last game between the sides was a 3-0 win to Bournemouth. So not too not too bad at all. Bournemouth, the one thing you can definitely say is that they've been excellent. They really, really have. And, obviously to go away... Where are we actually away? Sorry, I need to check that. To only lose 1-0 to Arsenal was very, very good. And, it is quite interesting to see that they are playing very, very well. Obviously they're getting their best players back. Obviously, Callum Wilson played for England against Bulgaria last night, so it'll be interesting to see where he leaves off. I think he will be okay. Norwich, they are on a run of 3 defeats on a row. Not looking too good for Norwich at the moment. Maybe this is where people probably expect them to be. But it's going to be interesting to see this game. I think because it's at the Vitality, you'd have to back Bournemouth, and I am going to back Bournemouth here. I just think Bournemouth are going to win this one. Be a very, very close game, but I think Bournemouth will... It'll be a very, very tight game. I think Norwich make it very, very difficult for Bournemouth, but fancy the Cherries to get another win at home, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Bournemouth. Aston Villa against Brighton now. They've never met in the Premier League era, so this is the first time that they've met in the Premier League. In fact, the last game between the sides was a 1-1 draw, and this was in the Championship, so this was a wee while ago. But the last 4 fixtures between the sides, obviously in the Championship, were 2 wins to Aston Villa and 2 draws. So, Brighton have never beaten Aston Villa, so you have to expect that one as well. Aston Villa, 5-1 winners over Norwich. Very, very good indeed. You have to say that their attacking prowess was excellent. Obviously, Conor Hourihane, obviously Jack Grealish getting off the score sheet, Wesley getting 2 again. They are looking very, very good. Douglas Luiz obviously as well, getting another goal. So, yeah, 5-1 away from home is very, very good. So obviously they will need to start putting that win into home wins, and I think they may well do. Brighton, obviously, beating Spurs the last time by 3-0 and looking very, very good. Aaron Connolly, obviously, Irish striker, playing very, very well. So, going to be a very, very interesting game, this one. Just because obviously the fact that Aston Villa have never lost to Brighton, I have to just tip them here. I just think they're going to win. They'll be too comfortable for Brighton. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Aston Villa. Chelsea against Newcastle now. The last 5 between these two have resulted in 4 wins to Chelsea, 1 win to Newcastle United, and the last game was a 2-1 win to Chelsea. Now Chelsea, coming off the back of a 4-1 win over Southampton, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham scoring again. Both of these players have been fantastic, and obviously Tomori was in the England squad, didn't get to play any minutes, so that's disappointing. But his time will come. Obviously, Tammy Abraham does start the. He did play in the Czech Republic game. So obviously, they're coming in front of their home fans again, and they'll definitely be confident. They're scoring a lot of goals, Chelsea now, and that's really good to see. Newcastle, obviously, but off the back of a 1-0 win over Manchester United, and for most of that game, didn't really look threatened by Manchester United. It has to be said. Obviously the last away game that they lost, it was a really hammering, and Chelsea are scoring goals. Newcastle, I know they scored, but they're not getting goals from obviously their strike force. So I have a feeling that Chelsea will run riot in this game, and I'm actually going to go for a really big win for Chelsea, and it could be a confidence boosting victory for Chelsea. They're in really good form at the moment. I'm going for a 5-0 win to Chelsea. Chelsea 5, Newcastle 0. So we'll see what happens in that one. Leicester City against Burnley now. Leicester City and Burnley have met 5 times. The last 5 times they've met, I should say, is that there's been 2 wins to Leicester City, 2 wins to Burnley, and a draw. So they're pretty evenly matched as well. And the last game between the sides was a 0-0 draw, so between Leicester and Burnley. Now, Leicester City were very unlucky to lose at Anfield, I have to say. Obviously, on the end of a really questionable penalty given to Sadio Mane, but you know, it was a they played very, very well and could have grabbed something. Like I said, it was Liverpool's hardest game of the season so far. So for them to come out of that, they'll be very, very pleased that they got out of that. But Leicester City were very unlucky to lose, and credit to Brendan Rodgers and his players. They played really, really well. Burnley obviously coming off the back of a 1-0 win over Everton, and they were pretty good against Everton. So obviously coming away from home this one, it's a very, very hard game for Leicester City because this is the kind of game that they need to win, especially the last home game they played was against Newcastle and they won 5-0. Burnley will be a very, very hard game. I don't see them hammering Burnley, but I do see them winning. And I'm going to go for the 2-0 win to the Foxes here. I think Leicester City will be too strong for Burnley, so we'll see what happens in that one. Tottenham against Watford. Now the last 5 between these two have resulted in 3 wins to Tottenham, a draw and a win for Watford. And the last game was a 2-1 win to Tottenham. Tottenham. Well, obviously Hugo Lloris is out injured. He's broken his arm. Tottenham are just in a real rot at the moment. They really need to get a win. And both of these sides definitely need a win because Watford, again, they were really, really poor against Sheffield United and, could have easily won that game, but, they definitely need to grab a win, and I don't see it happening this weekend. I really don't, especially with it being at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I just have a feeling that Tottenham will want to get back to winning ways. Obviously, like I said, Pele Gazzaniga will come in, but obviously they've re-signed Michel Vorm, so what was the point in releasing him then? So I think Tottenham will win this one. I'm going for a 2-0 win to Tottenham, and don't be surprised if Harry Kane gets on the score sheet again. He loves a goal against Watford. Wolves against Southampton. Now the last 5 between these two. 4. There's only been 4 games between Wolves and Southampton, and there's been a win for Wolves and 3 wins to Southampton. And the last game was a 2-0 win to Wolves. Wolves were excellent against Manchester City. Real surprised that they managed to win that one. Obviously, Adama Traore getting both goals. Who would have thought that? And you know what? Wolves were very, very good against Man City. Defended really, really well and attacked really, really well when they had to. So it was very, very good. And, it was a very, very good win. And it's going to be an interesting game to see if they can actually, beat Manchester City is one thing, but you do need to beat the teams in and around you. And they're coming up against a Southampton side who are now 3 defeats in a row. It's not looking too good for Ralph Hasenhüttl and his side at the moment. Southampton not playing very, very well. But they are scoring goals, which is the main thing. But they are defending really poorly. So for this one, I have to bag Wolves, considering that they've just beaten Manchester City. They'll be really, really full of confidence in this one. I'm going for a 2-1 win to Wolverhampton Wanderers. And now we have the Saturday tea time game, which is Crystal Palace against Manchester City. Now the last 5 between Crystal Palace and Man City have resulted in a win to Crystal Palace, a draw and 3 wins to Man City. And the last game was a 3-1 win to Manchester City. Man City obviously losing to Wolves last time. That was a pretty bad game for them to lose. Obviously Crystal Palace coming off the back of a 2-1 win over West Ham, are looking really, really good as well. So it's going to be another interesting one. They'll definitely make it hard for Manchester City. There's no doubt about it. Manchester City obviously coming off the back of a 2-0 defeat to Wolves at home. That was quite a shock, and now they're 8 points behind Liverpool now. So there is a gap now beginning to develop between Man City and Liverpool. So they'll be determined to win this one. They'll be determined to bounce back. I do think they will bounce back, but I don't think Palace will make it easy for them. Like I've said, I do expect Palace to score. Man City don't seem to be keeping clean sheets at this present moment in time. So I think Man City's firepower will be far too much for Palace, but I do think Palace will grab a goal. But I do think Man City will be just have too much for Palace. I'm going for a 3-1 win to Manchester City. Now, the biggest game of the weekend this week is Manchester United against Liverpool. Now, the last 5 between these two have resulted in a win to Manchester United, a win to Liverpool, and 3 draws. And the last game was a 0-0 draw, which was a very, very poor game, and it resulted in Manchester United having to make 3 substitutions in the first half, if you remember. Manchester United are in just desperate need of a win. The way they played against Newcastle was really poor. This is a team devoid of confidence. It's a team devoid of wanting to create chances. They never look like scoring against Newcastle. It has to be said. I honestly, like, every time Manchester United came forward, it seems to be Rashford that was only one in the box, and you know that's a good thing, but you do need to get goals, and unfortunately Manchester United didn't look like scoring against Newcastle, and that's a real concern considering the moving the way forward. Obviously coming in front of their home fans, I mean this is still the biggest game in English football, there's no doubt about it. So Manchester United are 12th at the moment, and they are coming up against the league leaders Liverpool. Obviously 2-1 winners over Leicester City. Sadio Mane reaching 50 goals in 100 appearances. That is pretty good going, isn't it? And obviously James Milner, Mr. Reliable, of course, from the penalty spot. It was 2-1. So, Leicester City did give them problems, but Liverpool came out at the end with a 2-1 win against Leicester. So, but Liverpool have not got a very good record at Old Trafford. I believe it's only 1-1 in the last 10 meetings at Old Trafford. In fact, the last game they did win at Old Trafford was in 2013-2014, and that was 3-0, where Steven Gerrard scored 2 penalties and Luis Suarez scored. So, this is the kind of game where Liverpool are going for a record 18 wins in a row. It has to be Manchester United that they have to try and get it against, but I have a feeling they will, because I think, like I've said, I do think Manchester United will make it very, very tricky for them. I think Man United will probably set up not to lose, and I think Liverpool will have to be patient against Manchester United, because I think Man United will definitely look to counter Liverpool in the counter-attack for sure, and I think this is where I think there'll be holes in that Man United defence for Liverpool to exploit. And will Mohamed Salah score a goal against Manchester United? Never scored against Manchester United. And most of the games that he's played against Manchester United, he hasn't looked good. So we'll see what happens. But for me, I think Liverpool will go to Old Trafford. I do expect them to get a win, and I do think they will get a win. And I think it may be one of the final nails in the coffin for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I hope it isn't. But I have a feeling that Liverpool will go to Manchester United and get a win. I'm going for a 2-0 win to Liverpool, and that would be 9 out of 9 in a row. So, be very, very good to see that one. So, yeah, I'm going for Manchester United 0, Liverpool 2. And the final game of the Premier League fixtures of this weekend is Sheffield United against Arsenal. Now, the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 2 wins to Arsenal, a win to Sheffield United, and 2 draws. And in fact, the last game was that famous win for Sheffield United, 2006. This was a 1-0 win to Sheffield United, where Christian Nadi, remember him? He scored the winner for Sheffield United. Obviously, Christian Nadi, formerly of Hearts, Dumbarton, etc. So Sheffield United obviously coming off the back of a 0-0 draw with Watford. I think they'll be pretty pleased with that. Another game where they haven't lost. They they're not losing many games, and that is the main thing for this Sheffield United team, is that they're not losing many games. Obviously, Arsenal going off the back of a 1-0 win against Bournemouth. David Luiz getting his first goal of the season. And obviously, there's been a lot of their players that have been on international duty. Sheffield United, obviously, I think probably Dean Henderson has been on international duty. Obviously, Ollie McBurney had to pull out of the Scotland squad. So, Sheffield United will definitely be fresh. And obviously, this is a Monday night game. Their fans will be up for it. And the last time they played on a Monday night, they beat Arsenal. So, this is the last time they played Arsenal under the lights at Bramall Lane. They beat them. So, this is the thing. Sheffield United have really been proven team to really, really be hard to beat. And I think they will be really, really hard to beat in this game. I do think they'll make it difficult for Arsenal, but I just think Arsenal will just sneak a win. I believe Arsenal have never won at Bramall Lane in the Premier League era. So, I mean, even that's going back to sort of 1993, 1994, when obviously those two were in the Premier League, and then obviously before now, obviously 2006, 2007, where Sheffield United beat Arsenal. So, but this is the thing, Sheffield United have not lost by more than one goal all season. So, they've not lost by more than one goal, I should say. So, I expect Arsenal to go over there, make it. I think it'll be a very, very difficult game for Arsenal, and Sheffield United are very, very good defensively, so Arsenal will have to break them down. But Sheffield United can grab a goal there or there, because Arsenal's defence is still not great. So for this game, though, I'm going to say that Arsenal will just sneak this one. But don't be surprised if Sheffield United do grab a shock win as well. But for me, I'm going to stick with my gut, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Arsenal. So that is my predictions for game week 9 of the Premier League. Let me know your predictions in the comment section below. I'll just quickly go through them very, very quickly again. Everton 1, West Ham 2, Bournemouth 2, Norwich City 0, Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1, Chelsea 5, Newcastle 0, Leicester 2, Burnley 0, Tottenham 2, Watford 0, Wolves 2, Southampton 1, Crystal Palace 1, Man City 3, Man United 0, Liverpool 2, and Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 1. So, interestingly enough, I've not predicted a draw. I think that must be a first for this, but we'll see what happens. But thank you very much for watching this this video, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and let me know your prediction for the big game, Manchester United against Liverpool. Can Manchester United end Liverpool's 8-match winning run and end their record of 17 straight wins, because Liverpool are going for 18 straight wins? Will it be interesting? It'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about that game as well, and also the big Monday night game between Sheffield United and Arsenal. Can Sheffield United get another famous win over Arsenal? So let me know in the comment section below. That would be fantastic. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, like, share, do whatever your heart's desire. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll be back very, very soon with some more videos. Take care, everyone. Bye bye. Bye now.